Let's have a look at a simulation example to illustrate what extended object tracking may look like. Consider a scenario where 27 objects appear and disappear with time. All objects appear from 4 different locations and then move in some direction along fairly straight lines. We model measurements from a single object as a Poisson point process with a Poisson rate which is roughly 8, and we use the random matrix model to model the distribution of the measurements around the current location. There is also a 10% probability that the object is undetected and that we do not generate the Poisson point process measurements. Similarly, the clutter is a Poisson point process whose intensity function is constant across the visible area in the figure, and the expected number of clutter measurements is 60 per measurement scan. We use something called a gamma Gaussian inverse Wishart to model the distribution of the object state, which now also contains the parameters needed to describe the single object measurement model. As a function of the kinematic state vector, this is simply a constant velocity model. The probability of survival is 0.99, and we use a Poisson point process to model the birth. As a function of the position state, this birth process has peaks around plus and minus 75 in both dimensions, which is where the objects actually appear. In this figure, we illustrate true object locations and extents in red, whereas our estimates are illustrated in blue. As you can see, we occasionally have missed and false object estimates, but we generally manage to properly detect most objects, perhaps with the exception of a couple of time instances after an object has appeared. We also provide estimates of the extents of the objects, which appear reasonable, though it's difficult to tell from a fast visual inspection. By the way, the particular implementation used to generate these results perform pruning by running multiple clustering algorithms, each of them followed by Merte's algorithm. With this illustration, we conclude the videos about extended object tracking.